In 1942, 6th Army marched to Stalingrad, unaware of the brutal battle ahead, with most never surviving to 1944. Matthias Hetzenauer, an Austrian sniper with 345 kills, earned the Knight's Cross in 1945 and endured 5 years in Soviet prison. In January 1944, a Japanese soldier surrendered to U.S. Marines in the Marshall Islands, marking a turning point in the Pacific and enabling new U.S. bases to advance the war effort. During the war, some U.S. servicemen collected Japanese body parts as war trophies, fueled by propaganda and racism. This practice was banned by military leaders in 1942 to stop wartime brutality. An H-class locomotive is being cleaned by women wipers. On April 24, 1955, mannequins depicting an American family were exposed to a nuclear blast to test survival chances. General Anton Dostler was executed in 1945 for ordering the unlawful execution of 15 U.S. soldiers during World War II. In 1944, American soldiers inspect a destroyed King Tiger tank near Carennes, Belgium, admiring passing girls during the Battle of the Bulge. In November 1944, a Dutch woman marched with her German soldier husband to a POW center, defying post-war punishment. In May 1945, Colonel Fenton buried his son, Private First Class Mike, killed in Okinawa, then resumed duty, receiving a second Bronze Star. On December 11, 1941, Adolf Hitler declared war on the United States following Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor. Despite no formal obligation, Hitler saw the war with the U.S. as inevitable. The declaration solidified Axis unity, but was a major strategic mistake, enabling U.S. support for the Allies in both theaters. Before Kursk, Soviet soldiers trained to counter tanks, leading to a decisive victory in the German army's retreat. The B-24 Extra Joker was destroyed in Austria, killing all 10 crew members. Photographer Leo Stautzenberger survived. In November 1942, a Soviet spy laughed at his executioner in Finland, symbolizing defiance. The photo was declassified in 2006. On the left is Raymond J. Bowman, with Clarence Ridgway on the right. Finnish anti-aircraft unit operating in Helsinki. In 1940, the Weeping Frenchman photo captured sorrow as France's troops departed, symbolizing the nation's defeat by Germany. European refugees seeking shelter and safety in Egypt during the tumultuous years of World War II, fleeing the devastation and political unrest in their home countries. In 1946, a German soldier returns to bombed Frankfurt, finding his home destroyed and his family gone, reflecting the lasting emotional toll of war. German soldiers wearing U.S. uniforms during the Battle of the Bulge were executed on December 23, 1944, for violating warfare rules. In 1942, women accused of racial defilement under Nazi laws were publicly humiliated, with violators facing prison or death. After World War II, Berlin was in ruins, with destroyed architecture and iconic landmarks obliterated by Allied bombings from 1940-1945. On April 30, 1945, the German embassy in Sweden flew its flag at half-mast following Hitler's death. On Tinian Island, military personnel prepared the Fat Man atomic bomb for deployment, marking a pivotal moment in warfare history. In 1944, a U.S. Navy crewman rescued a burned Marine pilot at Rabaul, returning to his position naked, unhesitating. In winter 1944, Senegalese soldiers near Besançon faced hardships, later replaced by white soldiers after liberation. The 1944 Belarusian offensive destroyed Germany's Army Group Center, with Soviet soldiers operating the D-1 howitzer in Stand to Death photo. Soviet graffiti, including Hitler Kaput, remains on the Reichstag walls and roof, preserved during post-reunification restorations. A German soldier in Stalingrad, November 1942, wears the prestigious Infantry Assault Badge, awarded for frontline combat achievements. In 1942, RAF pilot Francis Mellersh relaxes at Fairlop Airfield, reading Greenmantle, smoking a pipe, with his Spitfire. On June 23, 1940, Hitler visited Paris with architect Albert Speer and sculptor Arno Breker, symbolizing German dominance. The Queen Elizabeth, a World War II troopship, carried 750,000 soldiers over 500,000 miles, with soldiers sending telegrams to families. A young Polish refugee in post-WWII Iran salutes outside his tent, reflecting personal discipline and connection to military traditions. In 1944, a French woman's head was shaved in Montélimar for alleged collaboration with Nazis, symbolizing public humiliation. In April 1941, Adolf Hitler, Hermann Göring, Wilhelm Keitel, and Heinrich Himmler were photographed together, unaware that within 5 years, 3 would die by taking their own life and 1 by hanging. Göring fell out of favor, Himmler led the Holocaust, and all would face tragic ends after the war's conclusion. From 1940 to 1945, nearly 3,600 men served in the Maori Battalion, earning decorations and honoring their legacy with the haka. In 1941, German soldiers marched in disciplined formations, showcasing Nazi power and preparing for further advances across Europe. Hugo Sperle, acquitted at the Nuremberg trials, contrasts his former power as Commander-in-Chief West, living quietly until his 1953 death. Captured during the 1944 Continuation War, a Soviet soldier wears SN-42 body armor, which saved him after being shot 3 times. Colonel Paul Tibbets waves from the Enola Gay before dropping Little Boy on Hiroshima, killing 60,000 instantly. The bombing of Dresden on February 13, 1945, reduced much of the city to rubble, showing the harshness of Allied air raids during World War II. German soldiers in flooded trenches during the October 1943 battle for Velikia Luki pumped water while sharing food, defending key supply lines. In 1945, Soviet female snipers, including Nina Lobkovskaya and Lyudmila Pavlichenko, achieved 775 confirmed kills, playing a key role. In 1943, 2 Ukrainian Askaris looked past bodies from the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, which ended with 56,000 Jews captured. In November 1943, Bosnian Muslim members of the SS Handschar Division kneel in prayer during training, facing internal strife. This photo, allegedly Hitler's last, shows him inspecting Reich Chancellery ruins on April 28, 1945, before he took his life. This October 1941 photo shows German troops after a training exercise in France, not combat, with clean uniforms and light gear. American tank crew listens to Bernard Herzog, a malnourished U.S. citizen liberated from Manila's Santo Tomas camp, suffering beriberi. In 1944, a Soviet partisan carries a PPSH-41 grenades, Nagant pistols, and ammo, likely acquired from a successful raid. In 1945, German POWs watched concentration camp footage as part of denazification, confronting the horrors of the Third Reich to challenge beliefs and purge Nazi ideology, helping rebuild German society. Which historical photos would you like to see next on the channel? Drop your suggestions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to feature them in an upcoming video.